Hello everyone, welcome or welcome back to Becca is Stitching. I'm Becca and this is a Flosstube channel where I'll talk about all things cross stitch. Let's see, happy Christmas season if you partake this early in the season. Of course, as I mentioned last time, all my Christmas decorations are up except my Christmas tree. That'll go up after Thanksgiving. So I'm not full psychosis quite yet, but that's okay. Thanksgiving's almost here, man. Yikes. Let's see. I don't have a lot to say, so we are just going to jump right in to my two finishes. My first finish. I finished two things since last time I saw you. And the first one is the smaller one. I also FFO'd it. So this is a fully finished object. This is Fade Into You. This is by, her design name is House of Cam and her YouTube channel is Cam the Stitcher. So this was, I think, her first design that she put out. So she put out two different versions, the Prim and the Bright version. And this is the bright version. So I did this 2/2 on 36 count. And it's on Mystic Picture This Plus linen. Let's see. I added 417 stitches. So last time I was finishing filling in this shirt. I added his feet, his arms, and then I did the whole head. And this was only 1,144 stitches total. It's 48 stitches by 48 stitches, and so it's a little under 3 inches square on 36 count. And so I put it in a 5-inch hoop to give it some of that blue fabric around the edges. It's cute. Yeah, I just had this hoop lying around and I figured why not finish it. I just added some black felt to the back and I did a mattress stitch, just hand stitched it down really quickly and it's done. It's so cute. I love this pattern. Obviously very quick, very cute. And I finished this as part of my temperature stitching. So this was in the focus on a finish category. Yeah, I think that's all I have to say about it. Okay, my next finish was much bigger, not a fully finished object, but I did end up finishing Cozy Autumn. So Cozy Autumn is a Riolis kit. So this is one of the Riolis kits with the wool acrylic blended threads. So I am gonna do a full Riolis tutorial now that I've finished a full kit, so you can look for that coming soon here. But I finished this whole thing as part of bake-off stitching, so I think by the time I had finished my bake-off stitching I had only like half of the back stitch left to do, so I ended up just finishing it up quickly. And oh gosh, where was I last time? I know I had to finish this whole blanket and all of this. I finished the cutting board, the cookies, and like this motif here. I think that was all I had left to finish. I think everything else was done. And then of course I added in all of the back stitching. So this was 100 wide by 130 tall stitches. And so it's about 7.5 by 9.5 inches. And it's on a 14 count black Aida, whatever came in the kit. So yeah, there's just a little bit of back stitching. It wasn't anything like crazy intensive. It just gives a little bit of added dimension. Just looks so good. I'm so excited about this. And I just like, 14 count is so big that like, because the fabric was so big, I was like, oh, this will take forever. And it was actually so quick, relatively speaking, you know, compared to like my Dimensions kits and, you know, my Mariska kit and Luga S kit. This was much faster than any of those to get completed. And I just think it's so beautiful. I actually have another Realist kit. It is one of their kits with the dimension or anchor flosses. So I probably will start that because it's a Christmas winter theme. So I'll probably start that one, end up starting that one pretty soon, because I already have it. And then I want to go back and there's like a whole series that looks like this that I really desperately want, but I want to finish the one I currently have first before I, spend some more money on kits that I haven't started yet. Yeah. So pretty. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so for my whips, I actually had 3 finishes. So I started and finished a Christmas gift. I have not fully finished it yet, but it'll be really easy to finish when the time comes. But it was I was counting that as one of my whip go goals, as like my physical pattern. So not going to show that here, but I did finish a 3rd thing somehow in the last 2 weeks. So now jumping into whips, I'm doing the 2 different things right now. The first thing is, well, 3, I guess, if you count whip go. So I was doing stitching for the Great British Bake Off. The game was by Jessie Marie Does Stuff. That's linked below. Such a fun game. So I was doing it just as she called for. I have the rules up here. Except for the finale, I ended up doing 1,000 stitches for whoever won, and then 500 for both of the other 2, because they technically were eliminated at that point. So again, that's how I got Autumn Cozy done. I also worked on Farewell to Lothlorien. So on this one, I added 622 stitches. So this is now at 173,106 stitches out of 408,375 stitches for 42.39%. This is art by Alexander V. Bach and charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. I no longer support Heaven and Earth Designs because of their stance on artificial intelligence created pictures. Not even going to get into their Haid Stitch Along and how many of those are AI generated. I prefer to pay my artists for their efforts, especially if I'm going to be stitching on something for many, many years. Anyway, I started to work this is 1/1 on 28 count Jobelin. So what did I do? I mainly started to work, like I finished this column, I believe. So I'm getting into where that arch is in the middle of the piece, which is exciting. It's like you can see the top of the arch there. We're starting to get into like where it lightens up a bit. So not too much, but progress on a full coverage is, takes time. Yeah, okay, so next up is my other large full coverage. So this is Succubus. This is a chart. The art is by Christopher Lovell, and it is charted by Unconventional Cross Stitch. I feel like I had another tie here and I don't know where it went. That's okay. Anyway, so I put into this one 943 stitches. So this is at 14,494 out of 362,600 stitches. It's at 4% even. So that was exciting. I hit another percentage goal on this one. And I'm stitching this 2/1 half cross on 25 count. So I'm fairly certain that I finished up this column, and then I mainly just worked in a bunch of park threads here and just worked this moon over. So I'm not sticking to my normal like just in a column method, because for this one it doesn't work out quite so well just because of how many colors there are that like are only in maybe this section. So it would just be too much stopping and starting. But I mean, the detail's really coming through. Like you have one of her horns up here and then the moon coming in. It's looking really pretty. Okay. Next up was Morgan. So this is a chart by Carolyn Manning Designs. And this, let's see, I'm stitching this 2/1 18 count Aida, just a white Aida. I had it in stash. I don't even remember where I got it from. Probably when I first started stitching, like off Amazon or something. So I added 633 stitches into this one. So it's now at 7,291 out of 36,481 stitches for 19.99%. And if I had known that when I stopped stitching, I would have gotten to the 20% mark, but alas, I did not. So mainly what I've been doing is I've been working in this first quadrant here. And I haven't quite hit the midline of the project yet, but I have been going kind of in these rows and doing kind of typewriter method where like I pick a color and then just go until that thread runs out. So I really just filled in a lot of this and then brought a lot of that stuff down. And that's been working really well for this one. Because it's full coverage, like I don't care what the back looks like. I mean, I don't think it's too bad, but like you kind of have to carry, otherwise you'd be stopping and starting your floss all of the time, and that's so not worth it when it's gonna be all covered up. That actually reminds me, I will show you the back of my Realist kit because I always think that's interesting. So this is the back. Again, I did carry. It's really busy because there were quite a few color changes. And I did carry, again, quite a bit, but I didn't run out of floss, and I'm pretty frugal when it comes to floss usage. So it just kind of looks like an abstract version of the front. So I always think that's fun. I love seeing the backs of people's work, personally. Okay, so next up, my last piece for Bake Off stitching for the year, I worked on Winter Queen. So this is a chart from Mirabilia. I'm stitching this, all called for 2/2 on 32 count linen, and it's Balsam Fur by Fabrics by Stephanie. So it's this beautiful green color. And so what I've been doing is really, because I'm like right here is the like midline of the, like where you go from the top page to the bottom page. So what I've been doing is just trying to like take a color and just bring it down into the next page across the whole thing. That way I know where to start on the next page, because I don't like to like just stitch the top, have that harsh line, and then potentially get confused when I get down to the next page. So I just worked a ton of this white in, and I think I did a little bit of the bluish color over here, but not a ton. It was mainly white that I worked on this one. And once I get past that like midway point, this is gonna be so much easier to work on because it's a lot of like block stitching, honestly. I just need to get past that halfway point. And halfway is generous because the bottom of this is way more stitch dense than the top, but it's a lot simpler to stitch too. So I don't know like time-wise what that means, but it won't be, I don't think it'll be too bad, and I think it'll be kind of easy to stitch. But I love her so much. I hope to get a lot more progress done on her this winter. Okay, so temperature stitching, I'm definitely behind. I did Fade Into You as part of temperature stitching, and then I worked on 2 other things, but I didn't get to 3 other projects that I was supposed to get to. That's okay. They'll get done when they get done, and that's fine. Okay, so the first thing I worked on for temperature stitching was Ghost Town. And I think I only need like 200 more stitches. So this needs to be called One More Time before it gets swapped out. But this is a Mill Hill kit. and like a buttons and beads kit. So what did I do? I continued to work in the sky. I got this moon mostly in. I got this ghost started. And then I also worked in this roof because I was very sick of sky at that point and I just needed something different. So again, it's cute. I love Mill Hills. They're just fun. I love beading, so I can't wait to get there. And like I said, I only have 200 more on this. Before that will get swapped out. Ooh, just threw it across the room, that's fine. Before it gets swapped out with a different project. The other thing I did for temperature stitching was I worked on Cozy Little Cottage. And this is a piece by Counting Puddles Designs. Counting Puddles Designs, I think. It's like, I know it's Counting Puddles, but I don't know if she's like designs or stitchery or whatever at the end of her name. I got this actually out of a magazine. One of them in 2023. That information should be up on the screen. But I put in an additional, oh my gosh. I don't think I wrote it down. All right, I'm gonna put it on the screen, but I know it was like a little over 600 stitches and that this is about 25% done, minus the back stitching. There's a ton of back stitching in this, so that's gonna take more time. What did I do? I added in a lot more of this orange color, and then I fully filled in this leaf, and then I almost finished this leaf as well. And this one's really easy too, because this one is also a lot of block stitching. But it's so cute, and I can't wait to get more progress on it and get this one done. But this one also only has 200 more stitches left before it comes out of my temp stitching. So it won't get too much progress before the end of the year, but it'll get a little bit more at least. Okay, that was everything I worked on. Not nothing, not a ton. I'm happy with it. I've been really trying to chill because I know I've been putting a lot of my like negative feelings and emotions into my stitching to like try to make me feel better or just like forget what's happening. And I've been trying a little bit over the last 2 weeks to kind of like space that out amongst all of my hobbies and not just do all of that, right? Like instead of doing this while listening to an audiobook, I'm like, okay, how about I take the next 2 hours and just like sit down and physically read? Because I hadn't been doing that, you know, except before I go to bed, because I read before bed. But even just like sitting on the couch reading physically has been nice. But yeah, that's okay. I'm still gonna keep stitching and I'm still gonna get probably a lot of stitching in. Yes, but plans. Oh, I didn't even say, this is stitched on 2/2 32 count Dusk Lugana by Fiber on a Whim. It's a really pretty grayish blue color. Okay, thank you for voting, first of all. Christmas Folk and Creepy Carolers were like basically neck and neck. Poor Dreidel did not get too many votes for it. I will be starting that eventually. I grew up in what do you say? It was like Christmas. We were raised Methodist, my dad's Jewish, so it was multicultural household. I'm not really any of that, but I enjoy celebrating this time of year and winter solstice and all of the various holidays that are associated with that time of year. So I will get to that one eventually. All that to say, I will start Dreidel at some point. I already have the floss for it, so that'll probably get started this year. But Christmas Folk was going to replace Ghost Town. That one has not reached its 1,000 before I swap it out for temperature stitching. So regardless of what happens with that, I'm going to start Christmas Folk on the 25th, a month before Christmas, because that sounds exciting. I also did not know that Christmas Folk was not like fully out yet. It is now though, so that's by Hands On Design, and I must have gotten it, like it must have been an exclusive last year at Jingle Ball, because Kathy just released that, I think, to the general public. So if you want to stitch it and you want to start on the 25th with me, let's do it. I still need to like kit it up and everything, but that shouldn't be too bad. I'm pretty sure it's all DMC. I'm also, since I finished Fade Into You and I finished Cozy Autumn, that first one that's focused on a finish, I'm thinking of just making that like an ornaments category, at least for, you know, now until the end of the year. So I have the Victorian Christmas set by Lola Crow Cross Stitch, but then I've also been working on the Dimensions like Holiday Village set. So I'm thinking of like swapping back and forth. So I'm going to do Creepy Carolers as part of the temperature stitching, and then once that's done, I'm going to switch over to one of the Dimensions, like one of the next Dimensions ornaments, and just kind of like see where I get by the end of the year. Because I don't count, once I start Creepy Carolers, like switching to the next in this series, even though it's technically like a new start, it doesn't feel like that in my brain. So I won't have, my brain goblins won't get me, and I'll be able to start it more easily. So that's my plan for that temperature stitching category. Oh, and then the other thing is my other Whip Go goal, I think, is like stitch on colorful fabric or something. So I'm going to work on Halloween at Hawk Run Hollow by the time I film next. I've got some unexpected vacation days coming up over the next 2 weeks. So while I actually am planning to use that time to kind of like deep clean the whole house, because I've been depressed this year and it hasn't happened, I am hoping also to get some more either stitchy time or crafty time. Like I might, depending on where things go, like I might try to like finish some stuff or get stuff ready for the holidays and all of that. We'll just see how it goes. I am planning to do Flossmas, so I put up an Instagram poll. I am going to do, and I'll put this out I think on day one, I'll do like an explainer of what I'm going to do for Flossmas, but my plan right now is to do about 2 videos per week, so like 3 to 4 days for like each video, and every day I'm gonna do like a stitching update, but I'm also going to incorporate some like b-roll and some vlog style stuff, so it's interesting, just kind of take you along with the holidays with me, and kind of like, I don't know, I always find those really interesting, so, you know, watch it or don't, but I love watching them, so I think I'm really going to enjoy making them also. And I think 2 times per week will also not be quite so overwhelming, because trying to do that every day seems a little daunting. So I'm also going to be prepping for that over the next 2 weeks as well. I think that's it for plans for stitching. So we will move on to knitting, because of course I've done a little bit of knitting. I did end up finishing my nephew's stocking. So again, I'll put the pattern that I used up here on the screen. I added in this band section so I could duplicate stitch his name on there. I did not add it yet because of all of this filming. I just don't feel comfortable sharing that name on the interwebs. It's not my kid. So that will get added a little bit later, but I think it came out so well in this beautiful bright red and white. And I ended up, last week I talked about adding like a band here as well, because I had added the band up here. But as I approached the end, I was like, that's going to, I think, look a little crazy, like having that long of a foot on the stocking. So I just kept it at as is, and I think the proportions came out really well. So I think last week I was here. So I just finished the foot, added on the toe, and then I also added on this little hanger. I actually also, once I finished this toe, so my sister, my older sister, her stocking growing up was a handmade one, and it was a knit stocking as well. And the toe had gotten chewed through by some critters, because, you know, that happens after 30 plus years. So I actually did use the same yarn that's in her son's stocking, this white yarn, and I basically just took out the entire toe and added in like an identical toe here. So this was knit in the round, and the one that she was made was knit flat. So it took a little bit of work to do and guessing, and I didn't quite have the right, I'm assuming, needle size. I think it's fine. It came out okay, but I thought it was really cool that I could take something that I was making for her son and use that to fix something that she's had her entire life. I felt, you know, it felt good. I like fixing stuff too. Like you know, if you're gonna make something, I like it, the idea of it lasting for a really, really, really long time, despite rips, tears, all of that stuff. Okay, so I also got some progress in on my sock. So I'm almost done with the foot, about to get to the toe, but this is the Hibernal sock. So this is by Summer Lee. I've just been really enjoying her sock patterns. So, yeah, this is another one off of her designs that I'm doing. Let's see, this is in the color Hoppy Blonde by Hazel Knits. I got this when I was in Seattle earlier this year. I'm just like getting up close. I love that mock cabling lace. It's not mock cabling, it's like I think lace. I don't really know what constitutes lace in knitting at this point in my knitting journey, but there's yarn overs and stuff like that, so I'm calling it lace. It's not very elaborate lace, but I think it would be considered lace. Either way, it's pretty. So I've been working on that one, hope to get that one done soon. And then I also was able to fully finish blocking my husband's green sweater that I've been working on, and I cast on my sweater. So this is it's the same sweater, except the women's version is a little bit different. I'm knitting the size small because the ease on this one is 8 inches, and I've knit so many really, really baggy oversized sweaters that I just wanted one that was a little bit more fitted. So I did that, and the only difference between the women's and the men's is that the women's calls for a DK weight and a mohair. So I'm doing a red, I think it's like ruby red or something, of the Pure Gint. And I'm also using Isair Silk Mohair because it's, oh my gosh, it's the softest mohair I've ever felt. And I've heard that Pure Gints can be a little bit itchy, and they're Pure Gint. Not Pure Gint. What is this called? Sandisgard. The Sandisgard Tin Silk Mohair I've heard is a little bit itchy, and the Pure Gint is definitely itchy. So I wanted the softest mohair I could get. I mean, I'll likely wear something underneath this anyway. But the other difference is that it's got these little eyelet rows in between each of the sections. So that is where you have these sections here that would have just been knit across in the men's version. And when I showed it to my husband, he's like, yeah, that's good. I didn't want those. And I'm like, that's why they made the 2 versions, I'm pretty sure, because otherwise it's the same pattern. So this is what mine is looking like. I'm very excited. I have the whole back panel done. So next I just need to pick up for the shoulders and bring it around, connect at the front, and do what I always do for a drop shoulder construction. So that is coming along, and I'm very excited. Okay, books. I did read 2 books. So I read the first and second books in the Scholomance trilogy. Wizard School, but like the school is like in an abyss, and the whole point of why they're in this school is because they're so attractive to, they're called Maleficaria, but they're like demon type creatures that feed on magic, essentially. So they're put into this school to give them a little bit better protection. And even with that better protection, I think it's like 1 in 7 will come out of the school, so like not a lot. So it's just first book is this girl in her junior year going through that. Second book is her senior year that I just finished, and the third book is what happens after that senior year. I'm really enjoying it. I had a hard time when I started this one, I mentioned last time, because I read Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil, and then I switched to this one, and the writing was just so jarringly different from V.E. Schwab's writing that I was like, do I like this? But then I kept reading and I really, really, really liked it. So if you like a magical school setting, you know, who doesn't? I do recommend this one. I liked it a lot. I've read by Naomi Novik. I've also read Spinning Silver by her, and I really like that one too. This one's very different, but I liked it. I'm liking it. I just have the third one to go, and that's on hold right now for my library. So I'm gonna pick that one up whenever I get access to it. Oh, I also picked up Stardew Valley again a little bit. Again, that's part of my balancing my hobbies. Yeah, that's been fun. I love Stardew, and I hadn't played in a while, so I've been enjoying that one a lot. Okay, all of that said, my next video is scheduled to be the day after Thanksgiving. However, my mother-in-law will be here. So I'm either going to film in a different spot in my house, which I don't like the idea of, because my background's so pretty. It's all set up. I have my system. So I might, she likes Black Friday shopping. I do not like Black Friday shopping. I never have. I find it overwhelming, even though there's never any crowds anymore. I don't like it. So I might send her and my husband off to do Black Friday shopping while I stay here. And then I would like to go small business Saturday shopping to pick up anything. There's like a section of Fredericksburg with some local shops on it that I would like to go to on Saturday. So we'll see how that goes. We'll see when the video comes out. I think she's leaving Sunday or Monday, so it's either going to be late or on time, and we'll just see how it goes and see what happens. So I don't know what's going on. Like I said, I've got some vacation time coming up. I don't know how long that vacation time is going to last. It's all very confusing. Life is weird. Yeah, I don't know, but I'm gonna keep crafting because that is one of the only things that is bringing me joy right now. So we'll go with it. And yeah, that's it for today. Not too long of a video. I think I might have talked a little too fast. That's okay. It's fine. Nobody needs an hour video all the time. So I guess just do something for yourself today. That's, you know, what I always like to say. I'm probably going to do some Stardew Valley tonight just because I want to. It's, you know, November 14th and it's a Friday. So, you know, I'll get this edited, get this out there, and then I'll play Stardew for the rest of the night. Yeah, I don't even think we have any plans this weekend or anything like that. We're kind of just going with the flow right now. So with that, I will leave you here. Let's see, what's a good emoji if you've made it this far? I think a good one, we'll just go with book, like a book emoji, and tell me what you're reading if you feel like it. I'm always interested. With that, I hope you have a great 2 weeks and a happy Thanksgiving, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.